Hello and welcome to Creator Weekly Live for November 17th, 2024. I'm Peggy Kay, and today there are a bunch of updates for YouTube. There's updates for Spotify, video on Spotify, video on Facebook. You're sensing a theme here. There are updates for bloggers. There's a new version of WordPress out there. And I wanted to talk a bit about how Beehiiv is supporting journalists. And there's more if there's time. Thank you so much for joining me live today. I hope you're having a great weekend. The first thing I wanted to mention is everyone's excited about longer shorts on YouTube. These are shorts, vertical or square videos that are between 1 and 3 minutes long. Any video like that was uploaded since October 15th is a short. The thing is, YouTube isn't actually displaying these as shorts everywhere yet. And the latest update is that probably won't happen until early December, which it's just a couple weeks. But if you've been uploading longer shorts and you're wondering when is it going to appear on the Shorts tab on your channel, when are the analytics going to be part of the Shorts data in your YouTube studio, that's coming over the next couple weeks. So patience there. Now I want to get started and talk about several kind of neat updates on YouTube this week. So let me get the screen up there. You can't really see that. But the first update I want to talk about, I think, is pretty neat. There are going to be live promos in the Shorts feed. So this is a nice update for creators who both post shorts and have live streams. If you schedule a live stream, that can appear as a promo on your shorts within 24 hours before the live stream is scheduled. And I have a slightly closer image. It's hard to see. But the idea is you schedule your live stream, and then in that 24-hour period, if someone sees a short of yours, there will be a button that says upcoming live. And that will let viewers set a reminder. You may have noticed I'm trying to create more shorts. So it'll be interesting to see if this gets more people here live. I don't actually see this update yet, so it may take a little while to roll out. Okay. The next update I want to talk about is what Craig is alluding to in the chat. And this is all funny sounding to me. So I may laugh a little. But anyway, YouTube announced they are starting to roll out gifts powered by jewels. This is something that is rolling out gradually over the next few weeks. And this is how it works. Viewers can buy a bundle of jewels with real money. They can then use jewels to purchase a virtual gift for a creator. And along with that gift, the creator gets rubies. And rubies are worth money. So a ruby is worth a penny. 100 rubies is $1. You know, this sounds kind of complicated to me, but the idea is that viewers can buy these jewels sort of in bulk. So it's unlike a super chat or super thanks, where that's a one-time purchase. Instead, they buy a whole bundle of jewels and then they can give out multiple gifts. Initially, this is only in the US, and it's only on vertical live streams, public vertical live streams the live streams, they can't be age restricted, and live chat and comments need to be turned on. So if you're a creator and you want to know how to receive gifts, your channel needs to be in the YouTube Partner Program, and you need to go into YouTube Studio on desktop and look at the Earn tab. There's a new set of terms that you'll need to accept. Again, this is rolling out over the next few weeks. You may not actually see this option yet, but once you have accepted the new terms, that's for virtual items. It's the virtual items module in your Earn tab. Approve all that. You have to be at least 18, I believe, although don't quote me on that. So once that's all set up, you can start receiving gifts. And so that's how it goes. Craig asks, is this like a tip? Yeah, I think it's like a tip, where it's a tip with a little virtual present. So the gifts are all virtual items. You can see in the picture, there's like a laughing disco ball, and there's a heart and a flower and hands for some reason. I feel like, this is obviously aimed, maybe I'm not the target audience for this, but it's cute. I will accept any gifts given, of course. And who doesn't love a flower or a heart or a laughing disco ball? Andrew says, can jewels be put in tip jars? This is even better, though. You spend the jewels to buy a gift, which gives the creator rubies. Say that 10 times fast. I am curious how this will work out. I think it's an interesting initiative. Maybe I'll start vertical live streaming to give it a try. I'll also mention there's a special promo to start this out for creators. You can earn a 50% bonus on gifts up to $1,000 per month. You need to do at least 3 vertical live streams, each with 1 gift, within a month to be eligible for the bonus. So they really want people to give this a try. Live stream vertically. We'll see how it goes. But I do like that YouTube is kind of expanding the monetization options. And I think people do respond to things like this, where it's not just giving money. It actually shows that a gift was given, and there's credit to the giver as well. So keep an eye out for that. Then really briefly, I wanted to mention this announcement from YouTube for partnerships between creators and brands and advertisers. And you might remember last week I mentioned there's a new way for creators to reach out and request linking to brands and advertisers from the YouTube Studio mobile app on Shorts. This is just one of a number of updates, it turns out. This announcement is for advertisers specifically, but as a creator, it's good to know these things. So advertisers can connect their Google Ads account to either individual videos or channels. This is not automatic. The advertiser would have to send an invite, and then the creator has to accept that. And it's vice versa. The creator can send a request to the advertiser, and they have to accept that. And then once there is a linkage there, the advertiser can promote those videos like an ad. They also see metrics on those videos. And to go along with that, Google is adding a new section to Google Ads accounts where they can manage brand partnerships. So it should make it easier for everyone. And just to mention that if you are a creator and in the YouTube Partner Program, you may be able to turn on Brand Connect in your YouTube studio on the Earn tab, that gives you opportunities for these collabs with brands. And the other thing is you can go into your channel settings and turn off the option that lets advertisers use your videos without being linked. So that's in YouTube Studio settings, then channel, then advanced. If you're not in any brand deals, that probably doesn't apply to you, but that's something to look at in the settings. I think Google is really pushing advertisers to use this connection. And I wanted to welcome everyone who is here live today really quickly. I see Craig and Andrew and Jolyn. It's great to see you all. I see you're talking about posting emojis in the live chat. I think it's actually much easier to do on mobile. At least for me it is, because I use Gboard and there's an emoji option. Jolyn has a good tip though. She copies her most often used emojis to the clipboard, and then you can paste that and you can pin copied items to use again later. So that's a quick way to do that. Emojis are great. I used to be like, emojis, but I think they really do help you express yourself, and they're kind of fun. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit here and talk about an update on Spotify for video podcast creators. Spotify is pushing more into video, and I've seen some tech sites say, oh, they want to compete with YouTube. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but this is an interesting update. Spotify's information that used to be called Spotify for Podcasters is now Spotify for Creators. And along with this update, they have launched the Spotify Partner Program for video podcasts. This includes ad revenue sharing. And, as the podcaster with videos, you can indicate where you want the advertisements to be inserted into your videos. And you can also get a cut of Spotify Premium. I think in that case, viewers don't see ads, so there can't be ad revenue sharing. And that's based on how often the content is streamed. So for eligibility, this is for creators in the US, Canada, UK, and Australia. To start out with, you have to have published at least 12 episodes of your podcast and have at least 10,000 consumption hours on Spotify in the last 30 days, and at least 2,000 people who have streamed your content on Spotify in the past 30 days. So this is not just for everybody. You actually have to have a viewer/listener base for your podcast. But it seems like it's worth it. And it definitely sounds like this is a reason for people with video for their podcast to maybe upload to Spotify in addition to YouTube. I don't think it's exclusive, but you need to check the terms. So there are also a bunch of other video features that were announced along with this. You can upload short form video clips up to 90 seconds. You can upload one clip per episode, and then Spotify may show that vertical short video clip in multiple places inside the app and so forth. And they really make a point of saying they're not trying to be like a TikTok contributor. They say, our goal is not to make our platform yet another place to watch short, engaging content. We want to help people find their next favorite show where they're ready to immediately listen or watch and then ultimately drive more streams to your full-length episodes. So these short videos are like a promo for your podcast episodes. You can customize thumbnails for each episode. You can have comments, so people can comment. They've also done improvements to the video player. There's new analytics. And so Spotify is really pushing into the video. I think it's interesting. I never watch anything on video using Spotify. I just listen. Will this take some audience away from YouTube? It'll be interesting to see if that happens. There's also an update for video on Facebook. They say they are simplifying their metrics by calling everything views. So previously you had stories and text posts and photo posts. Those were counted as impressions if you have analytics for Facebook. So you get an impression if somebody sees them in their feed. Those impressions are now views. If you upload reels or videos to Facebook, those metrics were playbacks previously, and now those are also views. So you go into your analytics, your insights for Facebook, everything is now counted as views. I think it's a little weird, to me at least. Scrolling past something in your feed is not the same as actually clicking on something and watching the video. But who am I to say? There are other updates to the metrics. The biggest one is that instead of watch time, so usually for videos you have a number for watch time, it's now going to be minutes viewed. And Facebook says the biggest difference is that watch time was counted literally adding up every second of watch time. For minutes viewed, they're rounding it to the nearest minute. I don't know how that works if you're uploading videos that are shorter than a minute. Is this really going to skew things? I'm not sure. I'm not a video creator on Facebook. In fact, I don't post anything at all on Facebook. But I think this is something to really look out for if you do post video there. They say other metrics: reach, 3-second views, 1-minute views, reactions, comments, and shares. Those metrics aren't changed. So those are all my video updates for this week. There were a bunch of them. I want to mention that the newest version of WordPress is out. This is called Rollins because they're all named after jazz figures. If you have a self-hosted WordPress site, you might want to wait to install this. I've seen some chatter on Reddit mostly where there may be some issues with this new version. It's good to let other people install it really quick and find all the bugs and let them fix it. The updates include a new way to create dynamic content by connecting blocks to custom fields. So this is content, that may show today's date, that kind of thing. There are more font size controls. There's a zoom out view so you can see kind of the big picture when you edit your site layout. There's bug fixes, all the things that are behind the scenes. I'm sure you guys are aware that there is this litigation between Automatic and Matt Mullenweg and WP Engine. That is ongoing. I'm not going to go into all the drama here, but it is making me notice more that, for example, this new version of WordPress, it was announced by Matt Mullenweg on the .org site. Matt Mullenweg is the guy who signed off on the new version. He is apparently the main director in the WordPress Foundation. And then he also has this completely commercial site, Automatic, which hosts WordPress.com. And WordPress.com, which is a separate business, or at least theoretically is, made the exact same announcement. It's all tangled together. And I'm only really appreciating that now that they're litigating this. Again, I don't know if this is important to folks, but you might want to wait and see what's happening here. Jolens says, haven't there always been issues with WordPress? Yes, indeed. There are always issues. But they do mostly get fixed, I think. It's just good to let other people experience the issues before you actually spend a lot of time installing this for all your sites. And while we're on writing and publishing, I wanted to talk about a new initiative from Beehiiv. So Beehiiv is a platform for newsletters. It's what I use for my newsletter. And a quick plug, of course, you should subscribe to my newsletter. There is a link in the video description. It comes out every Saturday with all the tips and updates, a lot more than what I talk about here. So you should check that out and you should subscribe. So Beehiiv has newsletters, and like other newsletter platforms like Substack, you're also essentially making a blog of newsletters as well, optionally. So think of it as kind of a combined newsletter blog platform, kind of. This new initiative from Beehiiv is to support journalists and, of course, get journalists to use their platform. Their new initiative is called Media Collective. And the idea is that lots of journalists these days are going independent. And that's because of layoffs, or they just want more freedom to write about whatever they want to write about. And so Beehiiv says this program is to help promote sustainable audience-driven journalism. Now, what audience-driven means is that these journalists are supported by people who are paid subscribers to their newsletters. Again, you see a lot of these people on Substack, on Beehiiv, and I think it's an interesting initiative because journalists have to apply. It's not just something you can add on. And then if they're accepted into the Media Collective, they get health insurance, which is a big deal in the US. There's some legal assistance, access to software and things like Getty Images for stock images, and VIP treatment on Beehiiv, where you get special support and other features and perks. So I think this is an interesting initiative. They talk about 3 journalists who are already using Beehiiv. The first one is Ryan Broderick. He used to be a reporter with BuzzFeed when they used to do actual journalism there. And he writes a newsletter called Garbage Day. I subscribe. It's, sort of a must read if you're interested about what's happening in culture and online. It's not an entirely serious tone, but he does sort of have his finger on what's happening. The other 2 journalists that they highlight is Oliver Darcy, who is formerly a CNN media critic, so he writes about the media, and Catherine Herridge, who was an investigative journalist for, I think, Fox News and then CBS News. She was laid off last February, so she's gone independent. Is this sustainable? I'm not entirely sure. If this is the way things are going. I don't know how readers, people interested in the news, can afford to pay a subscription for every journalist out there. I think they're going to start seeing collectives of journalists. Maybe you pay one fee, and then it's basically just going to recreate newspapers, but in a more modern form. We'll see what happens, but that's my prediction. And then lastly, the thing I wanted to talk about is the shift in social media. Oops. So this past week, there's been a massive exodus from X, formerly Twitter, to Bluesky, to Threads, and even to Mastodon. This seems to sort of be snowballing. There's a bunch of things involved. Of course, there was the change in the way X treats blocking. That, for some people, that was really important. This week, X's new terms of use go into effect. These new terms allow them to use anything you post there to train Grok, their AI, which is obviously a lot of artists aren't keen on that. And then there's Elon Musk himself. He is big in Trump's government. This is an official US government site now, I guess, and it's used for promoting conspiracy theories and misinformation. And a lot of news organizations, maybe not a lot, but several news organizations such as The Guardian have said they're not going to post there anymore. And we're seeing a lot of more celebrities saying that they're going to be posting on sites like Bluesky instead. So Bluesky is kind of having a moment. Bluesky is still very small. Right now, they have between 18 and 19 million users. That's tiny compared to, for example, Meta's Threads, which has 275 million users. But the amazing thing is that Bluesky has been seeing something like 1 million signups a day, which is incredible. They have a small team, only 20 people. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, why would you go to Bluesky? It's still really small compared to Threads, compared to other platforms. And the reality is it doesn't matter how big the social site is if your community is there. So on Bluesky, there's a lot of artists and scientists. It tends more towards the academic. Threads has a lot more influencers and maybe marketers. So I think the trick is that we are going into an era where not everybody is in the same place. So we're all spread out, different platforms. You may need to be on multiple platforms if you have different communities you want to participate in. And I think that's going to be the future. I wanted to mention really quickly that I'm using a service called Fedica to post cross-platform. Fedica lets you post to X, Bluesky, Threads, and Mastodon all at the same time. So you don't need to necessarily make individual posts if you're in multiple places at the same time. Right now, I am mostly on Threads and Bluesky. And I've pretty much stopped posting on X. So join me there, please. Oh, I want to say hi to everyone who's in the chat. Oh, and a great comment from Eileen. We can upload clips to promote audio episodes on Spotify also. I did not realize that. Thank you for sharing that. So even if you do not have video of your podcast, you can use video to promote your audio podcasts, which is great. So that's everything I wanted to talk about today. Again, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. It's in the description. And I will see all of you next week. Thank you for joining me.